Hey Meeples, this is Bryan with Pub Meeple, and I'm here with Scott Morris, which some of you may know him as Talks from Crit Happens. Also, he is the president of Passport Games, and he is here to talk to us today about some, about several things.
Sure.
I guess since we got all this out here right now, let's start with what you brought here for us.
Sure. Yeah. So we have two new releases that our company Passport's coming out with this year, later this year. The first one is Quartz. If you're familiar with Sheriff Nottingham, Sérgio Halaban and André Zatz were the designers of that game.
Right.
They designed this game as well. This is one of the most fun pressure lock games I've ever played, and that's coming from a guy who actually designed his own pressure lock dice game.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we're all dwarves, and we've stumbled upon a mine that is rich with valuable crystals. And our goal is that we've made a bet that over the next 5 days, we're going to mine this thing for as much money as we can make, and whoever makes the most money is going to get to own the mine.
All right.
But it's not that easy, right? You don't just go in and make money, right? You're going to go into the mine, and the bag represents the mine,
okay.
And you're actually going to, on your turn, pull out a crystal and put it onto your player board.
Okay.
So in this case, I got a Quartz.
We got these awesome player boards here.
Yeah, we have these little mine carts, so you can like make little noises or whatever you want to make. And every crystal has a different value. So Quartz is the lowest at $1, all the way up to amber at $8. Now, that's really simple, right? You pull a thing out, you're going to make money. I made $1 already, right? But we're digging deeper into the mine. On your turn, you're either going to pull out a crystal, you're going to play a card, and there are two different types of cards. There are action cards and reaction cards.
Okay.
It's as simple as you play an action card on your turn, you play a reaction card when it's not your turn. And there will be things that will move crystals around the board. There will be things that move crystals back into the bag. There will be things that steal crystals from other players. The whole 9 yards.
Okay.
But what happens is over time, if you keep pulling things out, you're going to pull an obsidian, which is black. And obsidian is the worst thing that a dwarf could get. The first one breaks your pickaxe. It's nothing bad mechanically in the game, but it's kind of like a foreboding, foreshadowing warning to you. If you have one, you're all right. But if you pull a second one out of the bag, not out of this, but if you pull a second one out, you've broken your mine cart and you've had an accident, and you are ejected from the mine. And everything that you've collected, so if I had collected all of these things here, and I get a second obsidian, all of that has to go back into the bag, and I lose all the money that I would have gotten.
Oh my gosh.
The third option you can take, and this is normally where people start to get really excited around the table, is somebody says, I'm going to leave and I'm going to sell everything that I've already got.
Okay.
Because there's two things that happen. So the first thing is you look at if you have any bonuses. If you have 3 of a kind, you can get a bonus.
Right.
If you have 5 different kinds, you can get a bonus. So there's different set collections that you're going to be doing to get the most money you can get. But the interesting thing about that, there's only 2 ambers in the entire 68 gems that are in the bag. If I have one and I leave the mine and sell, all my stuff goes back into the bag, which means if you're still in the mine, that amber's now back in the mine, and you could potentially pull it out. So as somebody goes out, you kind of give them a little bit of grief, like, oh, you're a chicken, you're leaving, but I'll put that stuff back in so I can get it and get it out, right? So, yeah, super fast pace. It plays over 5 rounds. Each round is until everyone has either successfully left the mine on their own and sold, or been ejected by getting 2 obsidian.
Okay.
Yeah. And you don't have to just get ejected by pulling the 2 obsidian out of the bag. You could actually, because of the cards, there are some cards that if I have an obsidian on my cart, I could play a card and give that to another player. And if they already have an obsidian and I give them another one, that breaks their mine cart and then they're ejected out. So there is a little bit of take that involved with it. There is a little bit of strategy and planning when you're going to play your cards. My favorite part about the game is that the cards are very, very limited. You start with 5 in your hand. As you play them, you don't get to replenish them. You're only going to get 1 at the end of each round, and maybe, depending on if you leave the mine on your own, get another one. So at most you're going to get 2 going into the next round. So if on the first round you play all 5 of your cards, the next 4 or 5 days are going to be really, really rough in terms of the cards you have to play. So really, really fun game. And then these little side things off here, there's a treasure chest that if you want to lock gems when you leave the mine, you could do that. So if, let's say I had 2 green gems and I had a whole bunch of others that I decided I wanted to sell, I could lock these 2 in hopes that on a future turn I get a 3rd green so that I automatically have 3 of a kind and I can get that bonus, right? So some strategy as to what you carry over versus what you sell as well. And if it's in your treasure chest, it's protected. So it's, it kind of keeps it a little bit locked away and hidden away in the vault.
Man, this looks really amazing, and I really love even just the artwork and everything. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but they've got some really nice.
I can get you
artwork
stills
and
too, so
components
if you
and
want
stuff,
to
too,
put any
yeah.
kind of overlays or anything.
Okay,
the
yeah,
artwork
no,
is really
that is
phenomenal.
really nice.
Yeah.
So.
So the thing that really shocks people about this game, so Carcassonne-sized box,
Right.
you know, roughly, if you're familiar with that. It's 3 to 5 players. You get all the gems, the cards, everything you need to play. $30. That's it.
Wow.
So yeah, most people look at it and they're like, wow, it's got to be like a $40 game,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
or
exactly.
even 35. But yeah, it's $30 MSRP, which is even more fun. So
Awesome.
yeah, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I like it a lot. It seems like a very, very easy entry level into a game like this too.
Yeah,
so, you can bust this one out with just about it. You know,
Any
even-
age can play it. We actually saw kids at Gen Con. We did a pre-release of this at Gen Con, and there were a family on Sunday. It was family day at Gen Con.
Okay.
A lot more younger kids come, and there was a group of kids that came up who were all like 6 and 7 years old, and the parents were like, well, you know, I don't know if they want to play with all the cards. I'm like, they can play without the cards. They can just play with the gems, and you know, you either pull a gem out in your turn or you leave the mine on your turn. And they were like, oh yeah, and the
Yeah.
kids got into it, right? Because it's all color recognition of that's a $6 gem, that's a $3 gem, and adding that up, right? So yeah, it's flexible like that, which is really, really cool. So
cool.
yep, very fun, very fun.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
So be on the lookout for it soon.
And you said this was.
It's literally on a boat right
Okay,
now.
that's right.
It was supposed to be released September 23rd, but as some people may or may not know, a company named Hanjin is going bankrupt, and there's some adventures with getting things shipped into America. So we're working to get it done. There's still a shot for September 23rd, but it's a touch and go kind of day-to-day thing. But it will be very soon. So
Very soon.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, and then let's go ahead and let's look at.
They're all
just
mine
kinda
now.
put this here.
I win the game. They're all mine.
I guess when you own the game, at the end of the day, you win anyway, right?
Right,
You can
right.
take it all home, no matter how hard everybody else works.
You know what's cool is so for anyone who may know my past, I worked with the company Arcane Wonders that did Sheriff of Nottingham. Did a lot of work with André and Sérgio to get that game released. I love the way that André and Sérgio design a game because they have a way of designing games that keeps everybody engaged at the table. It's not this is not what I call an iPhone game, right?
Gotcha.
It's not a game where you're going to take your turn and then pass it on and you're just going to sit there on your iPhone like doing stuff. You're constantly engaged of, what gem did he pull out? What card did he take? What card did he play? You know, what's going on? You know, did she take and sell her gems? If she did, what did she put back in the bag? It's like there's so much going on that you just mechanically, you automatically want to pay attention to the game, which is so much fun.
That has to happen intentionally in the design process.
Yeah,
because
it does,
otherwise you
yeah.
get so wrapped up in designing these mechanics and I do what I do, then you do what you do. So,
Right, yeah, no, it's really cool. André and Sérgio, a lot of people know Sergio's name now because of Sheriff Nottingham. I think it's just, this is going to help, vault him even more forward into the public light of being one of the top tier designers. So
Awesome.
really, really excited about that.
So that's Quartz. If you didn't catch it,
Yep.
that's Quartz.
Quartz.
You also brought
Not pints, quartz.
Yes.
But pints are good too.
We also got another game that you said is coming. That is definitely coming out.
Yeah,
this month.
this will be September 23rd.
Okay.
This one's this is going to be really cool. So this is a game. So this one is published by us by Passport Game Studios. This is a combo game, or I call it a partner game. This is Strawberry Studios and us, Passport Game Studios. We did this together. It's a game called 3 Wishes. Very, very small game, as you can tell by the box. It's a $10 MSRP, so very, very low price point.
Yeah.
This is the entire game right here. Or actually, I should say, that's the entire game. These are reference cards, right? So there's 18 total cards in the game. The idea is that we're on our way home from a night out, and we've come across the bottle with a genie in it. And the genie's going to grant us 3 wishes, which is awesome, right?
Yes.
We get 3 wishes.
Yes.
And the problem is we're all wanting different things. So the genie's only going to grant one of us 3 wishes.
Okay.
So what happens in the game is you have, and I don't know if you can see this from the camera or not, you're going to have pink cards in the upper right there with point numbers. Those are World Harmony cards. Like this is a universal translator with a lovely picture of a little girl having a tea party with a Yeti and being able to understand what he says,
Absolutely.
which I think is awesome.
It is awesome.
Then you're going to have...
We did that last week.
There you go. That's right. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? It's Saturday.
We couldn't understand because we didn't have the translator.
You could wish for a spaceship, which is a gift, which is yellow. And then you can wish for a superpower, like immortality, so you can cheat death, which is blue, and that's superpower. So the goal is you want to have a superpower for yourself, a gift for someone else, and a world harmony for everyone.
That's awesome.
Sounds really easy, right? I'll just wish for these things and I'll win the game. Nowhere near that easy. What happens is the deck gets shuffled up and there's little pips on the side. So if you're playing with 4 players, you include the 4-player pips. 5 players, you include the 5-player pips. So we'll just very quickly remove out the ones that we wouldn't play with for 3 players. And that's all those, actually. There you go. You shuffle up the cards. Everybody will presume that you're playing meeples. You're actually a person here. Everyone is going to get 3 cards, and then 2 go in the center that are neutral, and then 1 gets pitched all the time. So there's never 100% perfect information. Even if you've memorized all the cards and all the points and everything, that you're not going to know everything. Now, the first thing everyone does is go, cool, what are my wishes? You're not allowed to look at your wishes. The beginning of the game, you're not allowed to look at any of your cards except for 1. So let's go ahead, you go ahead and look at 1, I'll go ahead and look at 1. Meeples, you can look at 1 too. That's your wish, okay? So remember this. As a magician would say, commit it to memory. Look at the number, look at the color. If there's text on it, read it, remember it, and put it to memory. All right, what do I have? Okay, excellent. Now the game begins. Now that we each know 1 wish, the game begins. On your turn, you have 3 different actions you can take. You can either peek at a card. So if I wanted to look at another one of my cards, I could do that. I could look at any card. If I wanted to look at one of the neutral ones or one of my opponents, I could do that too. I can swap any 2 cards as another action. So I could do that. I could do that. I could do whatever I wanted to do swapping. I could technically do that. If I do that, it probably is a good sign I have a good hand and I'm not a good poker player. But it's a possibility, right? I did that once too many times. There we go. There we go. The third thing you could do is over the course of time, more information is going to become available. And let's say you know that this is a 4-point card, and everyone else in the game has figured out that this is a 4-point card. The third action you can do is shuffle, which is you can take your cards and you can kind of shuffle them 3-card Monte style, follow the queen, lay them down, and then you're allowed to look at one of them, so you get a little bit of information for yourself and a little bit of misinformation for everybody else. The ultimate goal is that after we've been around the table 3 times, at any point, somebody can declare endgame. And if that's the case, that's the only action they can take. If they think they've got it, they declare endgame and they flip over their cards. In this case, I would lose because I have 3 pinks. I don't have the right number.
Each, right?
You want 1 of each. But everyone would flip over their cards and everyone would reveal. In this case, I shuffled really poorly. You have 3 yellows, I have 3 pinks, and 2 blues are there. But if you had it, let's say for example you had this card and you had this card, then you would have 3 wishes and you would win the game. Let's say though that the other person also had 3 wishes. So there is an opportunity that everyone playing the game, 3, 4, 5 players, everyone has an opportunity to get a set of 3 wishes. You then look at the points.
Okay.
So this person has 3, 4, 5 points. You have 4 points, but you have the cornucopia, which is a multiplier, which gives you ×2.
Nice.
So you would actually get 8. If there's ever a case of a tie for points, then the person who actually declared endgame is going to be the winner. You can play in 2 different ways where if you're the winner, you get a cube which comes with the game and you can keep track of rounds where you get cubes, or you can keep track of points. And you can say, hey, I got 8 points and you got 4 points and do it more traditionally like a card scoring game. Super, super fast.
I love this.
Super, super easy to learn. We've played this with as young as 6 and 7 years old and they've absolutely loved it. Like hardcore gamers love it because it's a bit of that social deduction, bluffing, information stuff that's going around. And the artwork is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, well, not just the artwork, but even the theme to each one. That you're giving the world, solving world hunger. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that.
And you're dumping donuts and cakes from a hot air balloon.
Of course,
right?
which is exactly what the world needs.
That's how you solve world hunger, right? Sweet cannolis for everyone. It's like, that's it. Yeah. No, so Chris Castagnetto is the designer. Maria Markowska is the artist. Just absolutely phenomenal people to work with. Beautiful artwork, great little game design. We're really looking for a lot of fun with this one. It's gonna be really good. And for $10, that small, keep it in your pocket.
That's a no-brainer.
On the go.
Awesome.
Tom Bassel actually called it the game that surpasses love letter for him. So we think that's pretty good.
It's a high compliment. It is.
Yep.
Well, we'll be right back with more from Scott Morris.